Welcome everybody to a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video today. And this week sees the release of the martial arts action comedy Enter the Fat Dragon, hitting store shelves along with the horror thriller Body Cam, as well as MVD is releasing a Blu-ray edition of the 2014 horror flick The Taking of Deborah Logan, and Criterion is releasing a Bruce Lee His Greatest Hits collection, plus much, much more. So let's go see the deals, exclusives, and we're at our first location, Walmart. So let's go in and see what they got. Alright everybody, we are in at Walmart, and there is actually a couple of releases worth checking out this week. I'm actually kind of shocked because I wasn't expecting anything from Walmart here, but I'm actually pleasantly surprised. And the first thing I'm seeing is they have the 25th anniversary Blu-ray digital of Clueless for $14.96. Holy shit, man. 25 years of Clueless. God damn, man. I'm actually really surprised that this Walmart is carrying this, because usually they don't carry these specialty releases very much, but, well, are they turning over a new leaf? I kind of doubt it, but it's nice to see them kind of changing pace just a little bit, guys. Now, my God, man, Clueless, wow, man, what a blast from the past, dude. This is a really great comedy, man. It honestly is fantastic. I think the first time I ever saw this had to have been on either DVD or like cable way back in the day, man. And it's basically about this teenager played by Alicia Silverstone, and she's, I don't want to say like she's the regular sort of ditzy blonde chick, but she's, well, frankly, she's clueless. And it's basically just sort of a high school comedy with her and her friends, and dealing with boys and fashion and, you know, the slang for the time. And it's such an interesting movie looking back on this, man, because it was made in the 90s. It was a very influential film from the 90s. That I think it definitely sort of tapped into the culture of the time. And at the same time, has it aged well? A part of me says no, it didn't age well, because if you look at the times now, I don't think this movie has aged all that well. But at the same time, it kind of has too, because, well, I hate to say it, but a lot of the things that seem sort of superficial in this movie have kind of gone to the nth degree in this world now. Whether we're talking about TikTok or Instagram, stuff like that, it kind of feels like the small things in this movie have kind of been heightened huge due to social media. So the movie actually might be even more relevant now than it was even back in the day. It's kind of crazy to think, man. But this movie is just an all-around great flick, from Alicia Silverstone playing the sort of clueless teenage chick. And she is really fantastic here, man. I think this was honestly one of the first times I ever saw Alicia Silverstone in a film. And I just thought she was incredibly funny. She's absolutely gorgeous. And it was kind of one of my teen crushes, not gonna lie. And I just watched more of the stuff that she was in, and she was absolutely fantastic here. Brittany Murphy as well, sort of a young Brittany Murphy before she became a really big star. She's in this, and she does a great job here. But also Paul Rudd, man. I think a lot of people forget that Paul Rudd was even in this movie. I think a lot of people sort of forget about that. But this was actually another one of those first times that I ever saw Paul Rudd in a film. And I thought, God, this guy's kind of weird and wacky and very sarcastic, but I kind of like what he's doing. And I became a fan of his, man, after I watched more of his stuff. But this was one of the first times that I really fell in love with Paul Rudd. It's a really great teen comedy. It's way before things like Mean Girls and a lot of those other teen stuff. I mean, is it the first sort of teen comedy movie that really dealt with this type of stuff and sort of the stupid humor and everything? No, because they kind of did it in the 80s with like Valley Girl and all those other flicks, but This was one of the ones that was highly influential, man, and I really did enjoy this one quite a bit, dude. It's a real blast, dude. And if you've never checked it out, I highly would recommend it because it is absolutely fantastic, man. Like I said, going with checked expectations about the time that it was made in, and that, obviously we live in a different world compared to when this was made, but it's just a really fun comedy with some stupid moments, but yet some smart moments as well. It's actually really fun, dude. It's been so long since I watched this, man. I gotta definitely revisit this, dude. And I really like sort of the sort of glitzy cover there with sort of the fashion stuff, man. Smart, sparkly, and never out of style. Damn right. Definitely give this one a look, guys. This is not bad, man. God, it's definitely a great comedy, man. And it's one that hopefully people still enjoy to this day, dude. 25 years. Goddamn, man. What a blast from the friggin' past. And then we're seeing over here one of the new releases, guys. We're seeing Donnie Yen in Enter the Fat Dragon. The Blu-ray for $14.96, the DVD for $12.96 right here. Very nice to see this, man. Now, I got a chance to watch this on YouTube. I tried watching it on Amazon Prime, but it wasn't on there. And I'm like, I want to watch this thing. So I had to find it by any means, and I rented it on YouTube. So I was like, whatever. Like, I rented it for like $4. Okay, cool. And I really wanted to watch this thing, and the reason why was because of the title. Now, we all know, of course, the Bruce Lee classic, Enter the Dragon. Great film, really influential martial arts flick. And I thought, okay, Enter the Fat Dragon, it's a funny title. And I thought, it basically says to me that they're not going to take the movie seriously, that they're kind of going to play it a little bit fast and loose and a little bit for laughs, and that Donnie Yen is just going to have fun with the role. And the trailer kind of looked that way, too. So I was definitely interested to check this one out, man. Look at that, man. Whoa! Classic Donnie right there, baby. Now, basically, this movie is about this cop played by Donnie Yen, and he is a very ambitious guy, man. He puts in like 200% effort every single time, and he's kind of a ball buster. He gets on a lot of the other cops' asses and everything, and he's passionate in his work. He's passionate about his life and his job, but unfortunately, he's a little bit too passionate, because even though he takes down the bad guys, he also wrecks half of the fucking city while doing it. And eventually he gets into trouble, and he goes down to sort of the evidence room and just stays there. And with getting in trouble and his fiancée breaking up with him, he just starts fucking eating like crazy, dude. Anything from the vending machine, soda, cakes, candy. Like, he's just fucking gorging himself. And he gets chubby or fat. And it's sort of, once that happens, he sort of gets his case, and he has to go to Hong Kong, and it's him taking down these bad guys, trying to fight people, also trying not to get winded, because he can't really move that fast anymore, because he's literally gained like 150 pounds in fucking weight, dude, based on like all the fucking junk food he's eaten. Good lord. He's not the Donnie Yen you think he is anymore, guys. He's the Fat Dragon. Oh boy, man. I really enjoyed this movie, dude, and there's a few reasons why I did. Number one, Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen is a great martial artist. He's classic, man, and he's been a great martial artist for such a long time, and still is a great martial artist to this very day, dude. Very exciting. He definitely trains so much, and he does such a really great job with this movie and doing the martial arts, whether it's the beginning when he's much more skinnier, or sort of later on in the movie when he's literally in like a fat suit and he's got to try to do all of the martial arts moves. I think he does a really good job with the choreography and everything. He's fantastic, man. Really great to watch. And the action in general is really well done here. You could tell that everybody knew what they were doing. The martial arts is very fast paced. It's in your face. It goes by very quickly, so you definitely have to pay attention, but I like the moves. It was very exciting. It wasn't slow at all or felt like dragging. It was really exciting. And the comedy is just really kind of crazy and wacky, man. I don't really know exactly, like, the kind of type of humor that they do in Japan versus the US, but it seems like they do very sort of over the top, outrageous, ridiculous comedy, like a lot of slapstick stuff. And that's all right, man. I mean, it works for this movie. It's not taking itself too seriously, and like I said, the comedy is really fast paced as well. There will be times when, like, one minute some guy's getting their ass kicked, and the next minute people are like slapping each other and like making sort of outrageous drug jokes and sort of like, fall down comedy. Like, it just really is outrageous and way over the top, but for this movie it works, man. Now, I will say this movie is a foreign language flick. There's subtitles like crazy. I know some of you guys are a little bit on the fence about subtitled and foreign flicks. I've watched a ton of them in my time being a movie lover, so I'm kind of used to it at this point, but I know some people aren't, so just to give you guys a fair warning on that. But I think the movie, because look, the movie's an hour and a half. It's a very fast-paced film, man. The martial arts, the action is fast, the comedy is fast. It's like, it's almost like a train. Like, it hits you really fast, and you just got to keep on going on this train, or you're gonna miss something. It's like goes from one comedy sketch to the next, like, action flick. Like, it like bounces back to each other like quite a bit, man. But I think it works because it's such an outrageous and wild film that I think you can't help but enjoy it. And it's just a fun film overall. And you can tell that Donnie Yen's having a really fantastic time playing with the whole fat suit stuff. It's a really funny and really entertaining flick, man. And I was almost expecting that I was going to be disappointed in this film. Because I'm like, okay, it's called Enter the Fat Dragon. Yeah, it's going to be kind of a parody-ish a little bit, but how is it really going to be? But honestly, it surprised me. I had a fun time with this flick, man. If you like Donnie Yen, if you like martial arts comedy movies, and I guess that's a genre in and of itself, then definitely give this one a look. It ain't half bad, guys. Not half bad. And actually really cool that we saw at least two releases, Enter the Fat Dragon and Clueless. I gotta admit, guys, I wasn't expecting anything this week because it's a slower week compared to last week, but it's nice to see some titles here that Walmart is definitely carrying. Not half bad, guys. Let's head out. So let's be real, guys. I was not expecting anything this week, okay? I was looking at sort of the releases this week on Blu-ray.com, thinking, okay, there's like a foreign Donnie Yen flick. There's like, some indie titles coming out, and like not a ton else. And it was definitely a slightly lower week than what we got last week. So I'm like, okay, we're not going to see anything at the stores, dude. And this Walmart kind of gave me hope that we might actually see some other stuff this week at some of the places. Well, let's hope, man. But it was nice to see some stuff here. I think Donnie Yen is enough of a name recognition where why not get it in? I think it will sell. I think people are fans of Donnie Yen. Getting that sort of boutique label release of like Clueless is actually really cool too. I wasn't expecting that, man. I mean, this Walmart, unfortunately, they have a lot of like empty shelf areas, and they don't carry a lot of stuff that they used to carry. And one day I would like for them to get back to the way they used to be, but I realize that that's quite a while from now, and we may not get that anytime soon. But seeing things like this, releases that are not big name titles that they do get in, kind of tells me that maybe we're not getting as much as we used to, but at least they're trying just a little bit. So I'm thankful for that, man. I honestly am. So like I said, I was expecting nothing, and I got something. It's a little something, but it is something, and I'm very happy, guys. And this is also not a week for exclusives, so I don't think we're really going to get much exclusives this week, but again, I'm not really sure until we actually go to the other stores. But, well, that is an adventure to be continued. I hope you enjoyed it here, though. That's the next location, and see what we can find. All right, everybody, we are at our second location, Target. But before we go in, it's kind of interesting because I hear a lot of times by people that are like, well, I go into these places and physical media is not as good as it once was, and yada, yada, yada. And even me going into that first Walmart, like, there's a part of me that is like, God, I remember when it was so good at that Walmart, and now it's like, oh, hey, I'm lucky if we see like a couple of new releases this week, and I'm pleasantly surprised by that. And I was looking at an article on Digital Bits that I really like from like 6 or 7 days ago, and talking about the physical media sales so far for 2020 and how they're basically down yet again by double digits. And yes, there was a surge at a certain point because of people staying at home and the pandemic stuff really hitting hard for people, but that's kind of flattened out now. It's kind of past. And look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. This is look. 2020 has been a roller coaster, baby. It has been one hell of a motherfucking roller coaster. And at a certain point, like, I sit there and say, well, of course the sales are down. That makes sense to me. But at the same time, I know with my own eyes what I'm seeing. And I go into these stores and people are genuinely interested in the physical media. They're buying it. Hell, I was at Walmart just today and I'm seeing, a woman grabbing, a couple titles, somebody else grabbing a couple titles, whatever. I mean, look, I think there's a lot of problems when it comes to physical media, and I think maybe we've always shot ourselves in the foot in a certain way or another with re-releases and shrinking the catalog titles and a lot of things that maybe we did ourselves. And we're still doing it to this day. You've got people that are like, well, yeah, the Blu-ray edition is out there, but I want the 4K edition. And I'm like thinking, what the fuck? Like, I'm not saying that a 4K edition can't be good, but at the same time, like, oh yeah, this movie got like 3 or 4 Blu-ray releases, and now we're just gonna do like another 2 or 3 4K titles. Like, in some ways, we're drowning ourselves with physical media, if you really think about it. And I think the sales have in some ways maybe influenced that in a lot of terms, because think about it. I mean, okay, you buy Lethal Weapon on VHS. All right. You upgrade to DVD. Okay. You upgrade to Blu-ray. And then there's another 5 years later, there's another anniversary release of Lethal Weapon. And then 5 years after that, there just happens to be another one with one more special feature with the special effects guy being like, oh, hey, that fight was really cool, and that's how we did that fight. And everyone's like, let's go buy it. And then the 4K releases, and you buy the 4K, and every single time it's rebought in a certain way, there's a little bit less interest that is there, because you're like, oh, okay, well, what are they offering this time that they didn't offer the last time? I think it sucks that the sales are going down a little bit. I honestly do. And look, man, like I said, I get it. But at a certain point, I also realize that, as physical media buyers and lovers, I don't want to buy everything that's out in the market. I don't like everything that's out in the market. So I want to be careful with my purchases. And I think the sales are kind of reflecting that. It's not about like, oh, well, we're just down 15 or 20% compared to last year because nobody's buying physical media. No, I think it's because people are being cautious about physical media. And I think they're being cautious about what they want to buy because they only have a certain amount of money, and they're not going to go out and triple and quadruple buy the same fucking title over and over again. They're just not going to do it unless it's worth it for them to do it, or they don't even have the edition yet. So you have to look at the numbers, and you have to slightly slightly adjust them because yes, it's down, but I think smart buying, and I think people not going for the amount of re-releases constantly. I think that's another problem. There's a lot of physical media out there, some that is unwarranted, some that is very much wanted. To kind of wade through all that is tricky, and then do the percentages. I still see a hunger for physical media out there. So I look at the numbers, and yes, it's sad, but at the same time, I still see a momentum for physical media and people really wanting it. So it's kind of a tale of two tales, I would say, in a lot of ways. Definitely let me know what you guys think about that. As far as this week, well, look, I was surprised by Walmart. As I said, I wasn't expecting a couple of their releases this week, considering it's a much smaller release week. Target, hey, give Target credit, dude, because last week they were way better than they have previously been in the last few weeks. But again, it's a lesser week, so we may not see anything again. It's a roller coaster with Target as well. I don't know what we're gonna see, but hey, it's worth the gamble to at least check it out. So let's give a go to Target. Hopefully, we'll find something good. Let's check it out. All right, everybody, we're in at Target, and it looks honestly like there's not really much to show off this week over here, except for one thing I'm seeing, which wasn't here last week, and that is the Swing of Things, the Blu-ray digital for $16.99 with Luke Wilson. Interesting cover. A bachelor party for everyone, including the bride. All right, what is this about? The Swing of Things. Their first wedding vow. Never do this again. Yeah, that would probably be my wedding vow as well. Let's see. Bad weather diverts Tom and Laura Jane from their Bahamas dream wedding. Oh, what a shame. So with friends, partners, and Laura's protective big brother... a swingers resort, really? Okay, well, that's the catch. Can the innocent couple avoid the nonstop booze, weed, naked bodies, and lusty dolphins long enough to make it to the altar? Also stars Adeline Kane and John Lovitz. Jesus, they got John Lovitz for this thing as well? I wonder who the hell he plays in this thing. Honestly, there is a lot of bachelor party movies. Well, I should say there's a decent amount. There's not a shit ton of them. I mean, you have the recognizable ones. I mean, you have Bachelor Party with Tom Hanks, The Hangover, Very Bad Things, Rough Night with Scarlett Johansson. I mean, those are pretty interesting ones. And then you have other ones. You have like one for the older crowd, a movie called Las Vegas with Michael Douglas and Kevin Kline. That wasn't a bad one either. There's always some sort of twist in these bachelor party movies. It's not just a bachelor party movie. Like there's like, okay, Very Bad Things, like okay, the stripper ends up actually being dead and they have to kind of cover it up. Las Vegas, Michael Douglas is marrying a younger woman and the complications of that, and they're the young bucks that they used to be. The Hangover, well, somebody goes missing and they're on a hunt for him. You know what I mean? There's always some sort of twist to make it extra interesting, not just the bachelor party itself. So with this one, it's actually, okay, now it's a crazy and wild swingers resort. Woo, yeah, baby. Okay. I mean, it could be good. It could be interesting. I mean, I like Luke Wilson. I think Luke Wilson he's a good actor. He's a little bit kind of dry as an actor sometimes, but I guess that's not such a bad thing. Like, he's done really good comedies before, like Old School and stuff like that. So I tend to like him. The other ones, I don't know too much about. The cover doesn't look half bad. And like I said, I do like bachelor party movies, but I have high standards when it comes to bachelor party movies, guys. I mean, my favorite clearly is Bachelor Party with Tom Hanks. That is, to me, the best bachelor party movie of all time. And then after that, I'd probably say The Hangover, and then a movie like Very Bad Things, and sort of down the line. Can the swing of things be as good as those? I highly, highly doubt it, guys. I doubt that is even possible. It looks fun. It looks like, there's beautiful women drinking, nakedness galore, and some funny antics along the way. It's probably a funny movie, has some sweet moments to it, life lessons to be learned, yada yada yada. Probably, guys. I mean, definitely let me know what you think about it. It doesn't look half bad though. Other than that, well, I have to admit, guys, same old stuff here. Frozen, Secret Life of Pets, all the new stuff that we've seen before. Nothing crazy new. Same thing with all the TV stuff. Nothing new in the TV section. In fact, nothing new in the TV section for quite a while, man. It's been kind of dry in that department. And over here, same old stuff as well. Nothing crazy new. I was hoping for some of the other stuff, but yeah, unfortunately not, guys. It happens. Sometimes you win big at Target, and other times not so much. Well, at least we got to see one thing. Whatever. All right, let's head out. Well, we saw one thing. It wasn't a total wash, right? Look, I've said it over and over again. You guys clearly know it. When there's a small release week like this one, we're not going to be getting a lot of titles here at Target. We're not getting exclusives, not much media to show off, guys. I was hoping for maybe Enter the Fat Dragon, considering it is Donnie Yen, it is a popular actor, but maybe I was wishing a little bit too much, guys. But that being said, at least it wasn't a total loss. I mean, we did see one thing, but yeah, like I said, Target, I think out of all of the stores during this whole pandemic stuff, I think Target has been the one that has been probably, well, I mean, Best Buy has been impacted because they were closed, but Target gets impacted because when there's just no more media to show off, the dead will walk the earth and Target won't carry anything. So both are bad things. So yeah, guys, it's pretty rough at times here. I mean, like I said, I think the physical media is getting better, though. I think we are on the upswing. So I think a lot of these sort of lesser weeks for Target will slowly go away, but we're still sort of in that little bit of days. I mean, last week we got a pretty decent week. This week, not so much. The past few weeks have been rough, but I think we are on the upswing, though. So only good news for Target going forward. But this week, well, it is what it is, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one title. All we can show off, guys. Hey, I only show off what they got, man. But hope you enjoyed it regardless. Let's head to the next location and see what they got. All right, everybody. We are at our next location, the second Walmart. We're going to go in and see if there is any unique and interesting indie titles that may or may not have been released this week. But before we do, I want to talk about a trailer with you guys, and that is none other than The Tax Collector with Shia LaBeouf. Now, I've heard about this trailer. I've been meaning to watch it. Finally got a chance to, and it's interesting because if you guys remember a long time back, well, I don't even know if it's a long time back, but like Shia LaBeouf was considered a joke. Like he was. You know, there were memes and things made about him from the Transformers films. Like, no, and just, it was all over the place, dude. He was considered a joke. And then, you know, he ended up taking some time away from acting. I believe he went into some sort of rehab or mental facility and got himself sort of straightened out, and now he's been back for a while, and he's been doing more serious projects. He's been more careful in picking things that are better for his acting style, and I think he's improved as an actor. And I look at The Tax Collector and I say, this is a really interesting movie for him. It's basically about him, and he's part of this, I would say it's like a gang or a cartel or something, where they're basically like like basically taking money from these people, quote unquote, I suppose, um, protecting them, and if they don't pay up, they will end up basically getting the wrath of the tax collector. Everybody's got to pay, baby, and Shia LaBeouf is going to do the damage. And eventually, there's another sort of gang that's coming in and trying to control the situation, and they're going to war with them. That's pretty much the movie. It looks good. It reminds me of a movie kind of like Training Day or something very gritty, like End of Watch. You know, obviously it was more about cops, but this has more of a gritty feel to it, kind of like those films. It looks good. The acting looks spot on. It looks like the action is going to be killer here. And Shia LaBeouf looks on top of his game. Now, I have heard a few complaints from people, you know, online from the trailers, people saying, oh, well, there's backlash over Shia LaBeouf in this role because he's playing like a Spanish guy or a Mexican dude, and they're like, well, this guy's white. like, why is he playing this? And, dude, I get it. I understand that it's kind of like he's taking up a role that could have been done by somebody in a more authentic way. There's been whitewashing going on for fucking decades, man. There has been whitewashing going on. I'm not saying it's right, dude, but I'm saying it's been going on for a long time, and there's not been a huge amount of controversy over it outside of a few things. Am I upset about Shia LaBeouf playing a Mexican or a Spanish dude? Not really. I mean, as long as he kind of looks the part, and as long as he can pull it off, then I'm fine with it. Look, sometimes there's certain roles where you see that role and you want to put a very recognizable or powerful actor in there. And this might be one of those cases. I'm not saying there isn't really great, you know, Mexicano or Latin actors that could do just as good of a job as Shia, but I'm kind of at the wait and see approach. It looks good, so I'm going to wait and see how it turns out. I'm hoping it ends up being good, but, you know, let's hope on that one, guys. And then real quick, I wanted to talk about, they did come out with a Halloween Kills teaser. I'm not going to really talk about it too much because honestly, all it is really just a teaser, unfortunately. It's not really anything more than that. And there's only a couple scenes of, like, basically picking up where the first one left off, and they're being taken away, the house is burning, ambulances coming, fire trucks, and basically Laurie is like, just let it burn, let that guy burn. And then obviously we see Michael Myers back. It looks good. You know, I don't get much from teasers, to be honest with you. Teasers are just what they are, teasers. They're sort of to whet your appetite. They don't say anything about the plot or the characters or anything like that. It's cool to see Jamie Lee back here. It's cool to see Michael Myers. I'm cool that they're doing another movie. Unfortunately, it was supposed to come out this year in October, but because of the coronavirus, well, basically a whole lot of fucking movies are moving, and might as well Halloween Kills. So that's getting moved a whole entire year to October of 2021. So we're going to have to wait a lot longer for that movie. But maybe that's a good thing. You know, they can end up, you know, doing a little bit more editing, perfecting the movie a little bit more. Hey, if it means a better movie, then I'm all for it. But definitely let me know your thoughts on that, guys. In the meantime, well, let's head into the second Walmart and see what goodies we can find. Alright guys, we are at the second Walmart, and they do have Enter the Fat Dragon and that 25th anniversary Blu-ray of Clueless, but on this side they have a good amount of indie titles to check out. So let's dive right in with the Blu-ray DVD combo pack of Gangland Hooligans for $14.96. They also have the DVD for $9.96 right here. Never back down. Look at that. That's really interesting. Football Fight Club. What? Really? Okay. Kind of interesting. A gritty hooligan film. What the fuck is this about? Justin is a young lad. Justin comes to believe that his only way out is to join a gang of football hooligans. Groups of vicious sports fans that form to intimidate and attack supporters of other teams? What the fuck is that? Really? Jesus God, thank God I'm not a sports fan, dude. I ain't fucking getting the shit beat out of me for my fucking team. I don't care how much loyalty I have. Fuck that. Shit, man. The first rule of Football Fight Club is don't talk about Football Fight Club. Very interesting. Really? So it's kind of like Fight Club meets a football movie meets sort of like a gritty hooligan flick? Like, this is really odd, man. I mean, the synopsis is interesting, I'll give it that. The cover's kind of generic, though, but that Football Fight Club is, like, kind of bizarre, but kind of intriguing at the same time, man. Whoa. I don't know about this one, man. It looks halfway decent, though. Interesting. Then they have the Blu-ray DVD combo pack of The Lost Viking for $14.96. They also have the DVD for $9.96 over here. Born to be King. Not a bad cover. Kind of generic, though. What's this one about? So basically, in a nutshell, it's kind of like a gladiator movie. It's kind of like one of those like epic gladiator movies where he's got to like fight his way to his honor and then take care of the guy that's killed his family and ruined his life. I mean, pretty much it's like the Russell Crowe movie Gladiator, kind of. I mean, maybe a little bit more like grittier, but definitely more low budget. I mean, Gladiator's a fucking awesome film. To try to replicate Gladiator, I don't know, man. That's saying a lot, bro. Like, I'm not sure, man. I mean, it kind of looks good, but to try to compare yourself to Gladiator, that's not cool, dude. I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't look half bad though. I don't know. Then over here I'm seeing they have the Blu-ray DVD combo pack of Super Miss for $14.96 and the DVD for $9.96 right here. Teacher by day, hero by night. Look at that. Da 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 da. Super Miss. Okay. I don't know about this one. I'm surprised this is not a Dove-approved movie. It kind of has that feel to it, guys. Interesting. An ordinary fourth grade teacher finds a mysterious green and suddenly as a high-flying green-clad superhero. He eats chalk. Huh? He turns into Super Miss and goes... Wait a minute. So she has to eat chalk in order to become Super Miss? Like, what does that do to her digestive system, man? Like, chalk can't be good for her stomach. Like, it can't be good for her, like digestive tract. You know what I'm saying? Like, who just eats chalk? I mean, except, like, weird motherfuckers eat chalk, dude. I don't know, man. Like, what's her superpower exactly? Like, can she leap tall buildings in a single bound? Can she avoid menopause? I mean, what the fuck, man? I'm very worried about her eating habits if she's down in chalk. Like something's wrong here, man. This one's a weird one, dude. If you guys know anything about Superman, let me know. And if you ever see anybody eating chalk, then maybe they're just turning into a superhero? Yes. I'd be very worried. Then over here I'm seeing they have the DVD digital of Body Cam for $12.96. Now, I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime, and actually I've been interested in wanting to watch this one, and the reason was I checked out the trailer a while back, and it actually looked really interesting. It had sort of like that sort of cop drama aspect to it with some like supernatural elements, and I was honestly intrigued. I wanted to kind of know more about it, so I was waiting until it was coming out to kind of get a chance to watch it on Amazon Prime. And honestly, it's not half bad, dude. I really like it. Basically, it's about this woman played by Mary J. Blige, who's a cop. She's had like an incident that something happened to her, and she's been out of the force for a while. She comes back and with another partner, and suddenly her fellow police officers are sort of dying, and there's this mysterious sort of force that's killing them, and they don't really know what's going on or what's happening or the reasons behind it, and they kind of have to solve the mystery of that and avoid getting killed by this invisible force. It's actually really good. I really enjoyed this movie quite a bit, man. I thought the acting was pretty good here. I like sort of the cop police drama stuff. Kind of reminded me of like, you know, Law and Order or stuff like that back in the day, or like cop drama movies, kind of like that. It kind of had a really good feel to it. I like that. And even the like mysterious sort of invisible force that kills them is really cool. Like how it kills them, kind of twists their body and picks them up, and you can kind of see how it kind of tortures them. It's really interesting. It kind of mixes a cop drama with sort of mysterious sci-fi elements, and I think it actually works really well, man. And Mary J. Blige is honestly really good here. I'm not really a big fan too much of actresses that were musicians and kind of turning to the acting game. Some of them aren't that great, but Mary J. Blige, honestly, she did a really good job. Now Nat Wolff did. It's sort of corrupt cops getting their just due, and it's actually really good, man. This is not a bad flick. If you guys are interested in this one, definitely give it a chance, man. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. It's not the most intense movie, nor is it the most exciting, but honestly, I like the kills in here, and I like the characters, and overall, for an hour and a half, I was honestly entertained. It's actually not bad, man. I actually really enjoyed this one. I hope it comes on Blu-ray at some point. It's only on DVD, and I don't know why they do that. Why don't they just like put it on Blu-ray at some point? Because I would have loved to buy it, but no, unfortunately not. Then over here they have the Blu-ray DVD combo pack of Things I Do for Money for $14.96, the DVD for $9.96. Theodore Aoki and Maximilian Aoki. So the Aoki brothers? They don't look like brothers. I've actually never heard of the Aoki brothers, so I have no idea who these two dudes are at all. Everyone has a price. And you know, I'm kind of looking at this cover, and it really kind of looks like this cover right here. Like, if you were like fooled, you wouldn't know which one was which, dude. They kind of look like the same damn cover almost. Shit, dude. I wonder what this one's about. Don't you just hate that when your musical career is upended by your brother's involvement in organized crime? God damn. Puts his life goals on hold. Fucking bastard. So he's got to become like a killer assassin to help his brother out? Like a 17-year-old cellist is gonna be good with a gun and kick ass. Like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna go with this one, guys. I mean, I really have no other choice, but what the fuck? I mean, there's some really good movies of like ordinary young kids kind of becoming badasses. Like there was that one with Anthony Edwards called Gotcha, which was really good. And then there's one, oh fuck, I forget the name of it. It was with Richard Grieco, where he was like a high school student on like a trip overseas. And that's a really cool one too. So it's been done before, kind of. So this is not anything new. But it looks alright, man. Like those ones from the 80s are like really like nostalgia. So I don't know if this one can even compare to it. And I don't even know much about the Aoki brothers. So it's kind of all new to me, guys. I mean, if you guys know about it, definitely let me know. But a 17-year-old cellist turns into a badass gun-toting killer. Okay. I mean, I went with weirder shit. I guess why the hell not go with this one too? All right. Then the only other thing I'm seeing is they have Tribal, the Blu-ray DVD combo pack for $14.96 and the DVD for $9.96. Not a bad cover, kind of generic though. Get Out Alive. Tribal, really interesting. Kind of looks badass. Ex-military operative. It's honestly, it's not a bad synopsis though. It's like kind of like they do the security service and then they're way in over their heads and they are trapped underground and have to survive. Like it's kind of cool actually. It could be really interesting. Could be really sort of action packed and with a lot of cool action and gun-toting badness. But the cover just kind of doesn't really inspire me though, man. I mean, if you're kind of like just going around and kind of looking at it, it doesn't really like hold my interest, the cover to it. And that kind of sucks because sometimes really bad movies get really great covers and decent movies get really shit covers. I've heard of like none of these actors, so maybe I've heard of Thomas Dodd, but that's about it. But chick like looks like she has a fucking machete. It kind of looks badass though, I'm not gonna lie, man. It kind of looks interesting. I definitely would give this a whirl, or at least check it out, man. It doesn't look half bad, dude. Tribal. It has the potential to be really cool. Possibly. Just wish they had a better cover though. Interesting. Not half bad so far. Some really interesting titles so far to check out here at this Walmart this time around. Let's see if there's anything else. And now we're on the other side, guys, and there's actually a couple interesting things to check out over here. Now, they do have the DVD of Blood and Money for $9.96. They didn't have it here the last time, but I did show it off at Best Buy last week, so they do have it here. But I'm really happy to see that they have the DVD of Proximity for $9.96. Really happy that they have this over here, man. Now, I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime, and I really wanted to check this out because I really like the trailer. I like the idea behind the movie. I'm honestly a sci-fi nut, so these type of movies really interest me. And for me, it was something I thought, okay, this is really intriguing. I'm gonna try to give this one a chance. So I figured, what the hell, man? Might as well take a gamble and give it a go. Now, this movie is basically about Isaac, and Isaac is a young man who has this encounter with an alien, and he ends up getting abducted. And eventually he comes back, and what he realizes is he has footage on his camera of the actual abduction. And he's shaken by the experience, he doesn't understand what happened, and he's trying to convince people that this really did happen. He was actually really abducted. And trying to make people believe, and nobody wants to believe him. And the one person that actually ends up believing him is a person who is not very nice and has some really bad things that they want to do. I don't really want to give too much away about this movie, guys. What I will say is that it really reminded me a lot of Fire in the Sky. If you've ever seen Fire in the Sky, you know how absolutely incredible that movie is. And if you haven't, I highly recommend checking that flick out. I truly believe it's honestly one of the best alien abduction movies ever. I really honestly do, man. And what's great about this movie is it kind of takes that idea and it updates it for modern times. And what I mean by that is when Fire in the Sky came out, like early to mid 90s, social media wasn't around. Things like cell phones was still not a huge thing. And so they didn't really put that into consideration. Here they actually do. He uploads the footage onto YouTube, he goes on these interviews, and the social media aspect is really important here of people just not believing him. You know, we live in a world of CGI and computer programs that look as real as sort of my hand. And so nobody believes this guy. Everyone's like, oh, this is fake, it's made up, you know, oh, really good Photoshop there, buddy. And he can't get anybody to believe it, man. So it's really interesting from that aspect of just somebody who's so frustrated by the fact that this is real, but we live in a society that is easily dismissive of these things because we can create it in a computer in the drop of a hat. I really did like that aspect. And I think it has some really great creepy moments to it. I really like the sort of conspiracy theory angle of it. I thought it was a really good, interesting alien abduction flick. And then something happens. Okay, so halfway through the movie, I'm going through it, and it's this really cool sort of, he's trying to get people to believe him, and no one's there, and you're kind of going along for the ride here. And then, in the middle of the film, there's a twist that happens. A major twist. I won't give it away, but it's a twist that you're either going to go with, or you're going to say, fuck it, I'm out. Like, that's the only two options, man. It kind of, like, when it happens, it had a feeling of, like, THX 1138, of, like, this weird sort of sci-fi experiment, and these sort of weird people in white suits, and this secret underground government, and it's kind of goes way into another direction than where the first half went off to. And it's honestly going to turn some people off. Some people are going to get very turned off by the twist. At that point, I really was engaged in Isaac's story. I was engaged in the characters, his dilemma. So for me, I said, you know what? I've seen some really weird sci-fi shit, so I'm just going to go with it. And I think at first I was taken aback by it. I was kind of like, this is odd, dude. This is really odd, and I don't know how I feel about this. But honestly, the more it went along and the more I got used to the concept and the idea, I honestly really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done, and I think they pulled it off. You know, it has a lot of really great feels to it. Like I said, it has a feel of Fire in the Sky. It has a feel of THX 1138. It even has sort of feelings of like Stranger Things or Encounters of the Third Kind. It has that type of stuff to it. It has a lot of different sort of sci-fi elements mashed into one. I think it's an interesting and really neat sort of modern day take on the alien abduction genre. And I actually really love the alien abduction genre. Unfortunately, you don't get to see a lot of these type of movies anymore. I mean, you still do, but they're kind of low budget. This one looked like it definitely had a budget to it. It looked like they utilized it in really great ways. It's really fascinating with the alien stuff that they do here and the meaning behind it. You know, I look at sort of the 80s and the 90s and even the early 2000s. There's some really great alien abduction stuff, and I feel like that genre has kind of like died down a bit. But when I watch something like Proximity, it really brings me back to a really great time of watching some of those alien abduction flicks, and this has some really cool elements to it, man. I was pleasantly surprised by this one. I wasn't sure quite how I was going to like this movie or even if it was going to be any good, but it's actually pretty decent, guys. Definitely give this one a look, man. Proximity is not half bad, though. Give it a gamble. You might enjoy it. Then over here, I'm seeing they do have this sort of Vin Diesel Riddick complete collection right here. And this has like 3 movies, I think. It has Pitch Black, The Chronicles of Riddick, and Riddick. Very nice, man. Very nice indeed. Now, I gotta admit, I love all three of the Riddick films, guys. I think all three of these are really great. Even when people kind of hated on The Chronicles of Riddick, I still really defended it. I thought it was a really great flick, man. A really huge, like, big budget, epic sci-fi film. I really loved it. And then sort of Riddick being more scaled down and more personal. I really like this series quite a lot. And I heard that Vin Diesel is actually going to be doing another Riddick flick, which I'm so goddamn happy for. But I'm like, dude, it's taken you fucking ages to make another Riddick film, dude. Like, you make like 2 or 3 Fast and the Furious movies in like a year, for Christ's sake, and you can't take time for Riddick. Like, I know there's finally a script and they're going to be shooting it soon. I love the Riddick series, man. I really do. Bob and I love this series to death. I think, honestly, and I don't know whether you guys agree, I think this is probably one of Vin's best characters of all time. I mean, some people are going to say Dominic Toretto, and I get it. Fast and Furious is a bigger franchise, more popular. I understand it, but Riddick, to me, man, has always been this great sort of badass guy, this really great sort of anti-hero character that's very reluctant, but answers the call when he needs to. I really like that, dude. I think it's a really great sci-fi series, and I think it's kind of one of the underrated ones. I mean, the people who like it really like it, but I don't think it's got as much love as Fast and the Furious, but I think it should, dude. These are really great sci-fi flicks, man. All of them. Pitch Black, when Vin Diesel wasn't even a big star. Chronicles of Riddick, when people shit on it, I think it's still a fantastic sci-fi flick to this day. And Riddick, when they sort of ended up sort of answering the call from people who kind of were saying the Chronicles of Riddick was a little bit too much, they kind of pulled back a bit. And even Dark Fury, the animated one, is really cool too. I really like that one a lot. If you've never got into Riddick, I would do it, dude. I think it's pretty cool sci-fi, man. That's cool that they have this here. And then the other only thing I'm seeing is they do have this Doctor Who, the complete 12th series. Now, I know this came out a while back, and I didn't show it off. I don't think they had it here at the time. And that's for $34.96. Now, I've told you guys many, many times before, I'm not really a Doctor Who fan. It's not that I hate Doctor Who. It's just that I've never really gotten into it. My girlfriend is a huge Doctor Who fan. She loves the series, and she thinks it's awesome. I think her favorite Doctor out of the more recent ones, I believe, is Matt Smith. I'm almost positive it is. However, she'll probably kill me if I got that wrong, man. But she's kind of told me that this new chick, Jodie Whittaker, she's actually not bad. She's a pretty decent doctor. It's very different from the older guy who played Doctor Who. She's very quirky, much more energetic. I know there's some people who are a little on the fence about her and don't really like her as much. I guess I can understand why, but in my mind, what's great about Doctor Who, what's great about the series in general, is that if you're not a fan of this Doctor, then just wait 3-4 years and the Doctor's gonna regenerate and there's gonna be another Doctor. I mean, it's kind of interesting, the different actors who've brought different personalities to the character of the Doctor and how it's influenced the series. I gotta give Doctor Who a lot of credit. Even though I'm not a fan, I have to admit that it's still a great science fiction series. There's a lot of really cool things to love in this. And I think there's something for everybody here. The cool sort of monsters and creatures, the Daleks, the different personalities of every Doctor. And there's some cool sci-fi stuff as well. It's like I said, it's not my cup of tea exactly for sci-fi and fantasy, but I can see why it's as popular as it is. I really do, man. So let me know what you think of the 12th series and what you think of the female Doctor Who. Good, bad? What's your opinion? Definitely let me know, man. Not bad this week. Some interesting stuff to check out. Some weird, interesting B-movies this time around. Always fascinating when we come to the second Walmart. Let's head out. Alien abductions 17-year-old badasses who plays the cello, and superheroes who eat chalk. Some really fascinating stuff this time around, guys. I gotta admit, I always love coming in here because these indie titles are so weird and bizarre and out there that I just can't help falling in love with them. Whether it's the really cool cover art or the synopsis that I'm just like, wait a minute, a football fight club? It's always fascinating and always worth it to come in here, guys, by far, man. When one Walmart doesn't have much, this Walmart will definitely always deliver. Not half bad, guys. Really fascinating. The indie titles are always fascinating. Sometimes they're actually even more fascinating than the brand new releases themselves. Some of them worth giving a gamble to, and others definitely staying far away from, for sure. But hopefully you found some interesting stuff here. I know I definitely did. Let's head to the next location and see what we can find. All right, everybody, we are at our fourth and final location, and you guessed it. It's time to go back to the Beast, baby. Oh yeah, we are back at Best Buy, man. I can't stay away from the Beast forever. You guys know that, especially now that it's open. I won't ever stay away now. So I want to see what they have here. Some of the new releases, maybe some exclusives, maybe some unique titles that we haven't checked out yet. You never know what you'll get over at the Beast. And I'm interested to find out what they got. So let's head in, check it out. All right, guys, we are in at Best Buy, and the first thing I am seeing over here is they have Enter the Fat Dragon with Donnie Yen, baby, $14.99, and that is who makes this movie, Donnie Yen, man. He makes this really fascinating and really exciting, and the comedy is great from Donnie, and he's having a ball, dude. And I gotta admit, man, as I said earlier, Donnie was and still is a really fantastic martial artist to this day, dude. And the first time, God, I think the first time I ever really saw him in a movie was Blade 2. Yeah, Blade 2 back in 2002 was when I actually first saw Donnie Yen, man. And
I'm right here.
No lie, I mean, he had a small role in it, but I was really impressed by it. So some of his martial arts moves and what he did in the film, he had a small part, but again, I was really impressed by him. And it wasn't until the Ip Man stuff that I really started to get into Donnie Yen even more. I started to get into him, and I really started to notice him even more. And he gained fame and notoriety because of the Ip Man series. And that still is fantastic to this day, man. Still great. If you haven't seen all 4 of the Ip Man movies, God, please do it, dude. They're awesome martial arts films. And he's mainly an actor who has done a lot of stuff, you know, in Japan, in Hong Kong, in his native homeland, but he's also done a lot of high-profile stuff as well. He's done stuff like Rogue One as well, which is a really great movie. I really love his role in here a lot. I thought he really did a great job with the role he had here. I am one with the Force is one with me. I am one with the Force is one with me. He had that really great stuff here. He was really great as that blind sort of Jedi wannabe. He was really great there. He was also really great in a few other sort of high-profile movies as well that he's done over the years. He's one of those martial artists that, you know, he's not as recognizable as a Jackie Chan or a Jet Li, people like that. Unfortunately, he's really not. I think he's just as good as them, but unfortunately, he hasn't done as much high-profile movies and ones that have gained as much fame as those guys have, like Chow Yun-fat and some of those people. But I think, as I said, he's just as good, man. He's just as good of a martial artist as any one of them. I think he's fantastic, dude. Now, I know he's actually going to be in Mulan, which I'm actually really excited to see what he'll do with his role in Mulan. I think he's fantastic and great. And I actually think it's kind of funny that he's even in this movie because he plays Ip Man in those series who ended up, obviously training Bruce Lee, who did Enter the Dragon, and now he is parodying it with this movie, Enter the Fat Dragon. So it's kind of like a weird finally comes to like a close, like a circle. Like, it kind of would be funny if he actually at one point actually played Bruce Lee at some point, right? Because that would sort of be the icing on the cake, would be for him to actually do that. But I do have to admit, man, that I haven't dived into as much Donnie Yen as I should. Like I said, there's a few roles that I really like him in, and I do look forward to seeing what he does next. Now, I'm kind of curious, what do you guys suggest as far as Donnie Yen is concerned? What other movies can I dive in that you would recommend from Donnie Yen? Outside of the Ip Man, the Rogue Ones, Blade 2, that type of thing. What are some ones that you're like, okay, this is classic Donnie Yen? Definitely let me know what you guys think about that one. But if you guys are looking for a fun, sort of comedic martial arts movie, Enter the Fat Dragon is pretty damn good, man. A little bizarre and outrageous, but really fun, man. And I think you guys would really dig it, dude. No special features, unfortunately, but just the fun of Donnie Yen in a fat suit doing martial arts. Can't beat it, dude. I'm also seeing over here they have this 40th anniversary limited edition steelbook for Flash Gordon. It's a Best Buy exclusive, man, for $12.99. That's a great fucking price, by the way, $12.99 for this steelbook. And I was just looking at this thing, and it like really stands out to me with the gold and the red and him like swinging like that. Man, this is actually a really nice steelbook, dude. You know, sometimes I'm sort of iffy on steelbooks. Some look really good and others I'm kind of on the fence about. But this, man, this looks really fantastic, dude. I didn't even know that they were actually making a steelbook of Flash Gordon, but this looks sweet. Damn, dude. Now, mind you, I have not seen Flash Gordon in, decades, dude. It's been so goddamn long since I've seen this, but what I remember about it is just how great it is. It kind of reminded me of the old sort of like the 1940s and the 1950s serials from back in the day that you'd watch as a kid. You know, that sort of sci-fi adventure angle that sort of influenced things like Star Wars and stuff like that. You know, yes, is the costumes cheesy? Yes, are the special effects cheesy? The acting's actually not half bad, but yeah, I guess it's a little cheesy, but who cares, dude? It's Flash Gordon, man. You're not supposed to take this shit ultra seriously, man. Just sit back, relax, enjoy the ride, and enjoy the fun B-movie sci-fi cheese, dude. And it's just fun, man. And I forgot people like Timothy Dalton was in this, man. That's fantastic, dude. This is really an amazing sort of, like I said, old school style throwback type of film, man. It really honestly is. And again, it's been so long since I watched it. I kind of have to revisit it at some point because I kind of actually want to buy this because the red and the gold, man, it's just kind of really standing out to me, man. And I haven't watched it in years. And for $12.99, that's a great for a blind buy, dude. Wow, this is a really gorgeous looking steelbook, man. This is definitely worth it, dude. Wow. You get here Alex Ross concept. You get writing a classic. Oh, you get an episode of Flash Gordon from the 1936 serial and more. Damn, this is really nice, man. Shit. Dude. I'm kind of curious whether it would... I mean, I guess it would hold up for me now, dude. I mean, it's... You know, I still love sci-fi. I still love classic, old-school, serial sci-fi stuff. Like I said, I mean, I'm a fan of Star Wars, and Flash Gordon influenced Star Wars. So, I mean, if you love that, you'll most likely love Flash Gordon, and it has the same sort of archetype and the same sort of sci-fi shtick, but it's still fun. And it's old school. And sometimes old school sci-fi is better than some of the new school sci-fi. Looks damn good to me, man. They've also got the Blu-ray digital of the Swing of Things for $14.99, but more importantly, they also have the Blu-ray of The Magicians, the complete series for $79.99. Look at this beast of a complete series. Very nice. Look at this sucker, man. Really nice, dude. Not half bad. Now, mind you, I've never seen The Magicians before. I've heard of The Magicians, but I've never gotten a chance to see any episode of the show at all, so I know nothing about this show, really. Wow. Look at that. I'm not gonna lie, that's kinda hot. Okay. Like, whoa. My interest has suddenly peaked. Based on... Oh, series of fantasy novels. This is a college of magic and outside. That kind of actually looks cool, man. The synopsis and some of the imagery, not half bad. You know, I really like magic, like movies that deal with magic and the trickery of magic and sort of magical realms and worlds, things like Lord of the Rings and fantasy stuff like Harry Potter. Like, that stuff has always really fascinated me, and I've really loved that stuff. But this kind of takes that and kind of blends it into something really fascinating, and it kind of has some really great sort of sci-fi and fantasy elements to mix in. It kind of reminds me of, like, if you put like Star Trek and Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and the Librarians and, like, you know, all those sort of great sort of fantasy stuff in a blender, you'd get The Magicians. Am I wrong? Kind of looks like that, like some great weird powers, like stuff right out of a comic book or something. I know it's based off of like a book series, but I've never read that either. It kind of is really intriguing me, like elements from the Chronicles of Narnia and stuff like that. No, I've never gotten a chance to watch this, but again, like, there's so many series that I've never gotten a chance to watch, whether because I don't have cable or because I'm just so busy watching so many goddamn movies that I never get a chance to check out any sort of TV stuff. But I gotta start doing that, man. Let me know what you think of The Magicians. It actually is really intriguing to me. It looks kind of cool, actually. See, I like a lot of stuff like Star Trek and Stargate and, you know, magical stuff like Crawl and Labyrinth and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that this is exactly like that, but it's got like elements to it, and it kind of looks really fascinating to me. It's got deleted scenes, gag reels, the world of The Magicians, and more. Nice. If you guys know anything about The Magicians, definitely let me know. Good, bad? Is it worth it? Does it sort of die down over time? Is it one of the better sort of fantasy series that you've seen? Let me know. This really is kind of intriguing me, man. And for a complete series for $79.99, that's not a bad price on Blu-ray, man. That's pretty interesting. So not bad this time around at Best Buy, man. I mean, you've got... I couldn't help myself. Enter the Dragon, The Magicians, the Swing of Things, that really wonderful Flash Gordon Steelbook. God, Best Buy, where do they get these wonderful toys? Really fantastic. That really looks amazing to me, and that Steelbook really pops, dude. Wow, not half bad, man. Really cool this week here. Not a lot, but what they have is really interesting, dude. Best Buy is definitely slowly getting back on their feet, and they're definitely having some unique stuff. Not bad. Let's head out. It's not half bad here this week. I mean, yeah, it's only a few releases, but I've learned now when coming into Best Buy here that I've got to temper the expectations a little bit. They're still behind the curve. They're still sort of picking themselves back up because of coronavirus. So in a lot of ways, they still have a ways to go, but they still get in a lot of unique stuff that you're not going to see at Walmart and not going to see at Target. So I do appreciate them getting in stock that you're not going to see anywhere else. So I always appreciate that about Best Buy. Now, you will also notice that they did not have Clueless this time around. Now, I talked to somebody who stocks the shelves, and apparently Best Buy, at least in my area, is not putting out their exclusive Best Buy Steelbook of Clueless until next week. It's kind of weird because I told him, I was like, well, wait a minute, Walmart has Clueless out right now. And he kind of looked at me, he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, that's kind of odd. They shouldn't have that out. And I'm like, hell if I know, man. So, yes, if you were thinking there is going to be an exclusive for Clueless, well, you are right. They are going to have one, but it will be next week. And they also say that they have another goodie back there in the back room as well that's worth checking out. Another cool, unique steelbook. But you're going to have to wait till next week, guys. Not half bad, man. So, again, some goodies and some treats to look forward to next week. But here, not half bad. Enter the Dragon, The Magicians, a really great Flash Gordon steelbook. Some cool stuff you're not going to find anywhere else. Not half bad. Hope you guys enjoyed it at the Beast. Let's head home and finish the video. Alright, everybody. That'll do it for the Blu-ray and DVD out and about video this week. And I'm not gonna lie, guys. I was worried as shit. I'm looking on the schedule on Blu-ray.com. I'm like, oh my god, there's nothing. God, there's barely anything. The stores are not gonna have anything to show off, man. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a rough one. And I was surprised, man. I was honestly surprised. There was more than I was even expecting to show off and talk about. And that's really great, man. That is really, really cool. So, sometimes a week that you think is gonna be like really dull and lifeless and not gonna be able to show off anything ends up actually not being half bad. So, thank God for some of these stores that really prop up the week because, boy, man, otherwise, it'd be a little bit of a bore, man. But, hey, that's why we do these out and abouts, man, because you never know what you're going to find until you enter into the stores, man. Not half bad, though, this week. Some really cool sort of exclusives, some really weird indie titles, a few new interesting releases as well. Not half bad for the week. Hope you guys picked up something good. If you did, definitely let me know. As far as I'm concerned, well, I got a couple of packages in the mail, and the first is none other than a package from Diabolic DVD. Oh, baby. They love me at Diabolic. Come on, guys. So, this is actually an Arrow Video title. Now, it's actually a horror thriller that I've always known about, but I've never watched it. This was one that unfortunately got relegated to cable, never got a chance to be in theaters, and never got the love that it quite deserved. And it's been one that I think people have kind of been sought after for a while. And when Arrow announced it, I think a lot of people were intrigued by it, myself included. So I took the gamble to pick it up. I'm looking forward to watching this one. I love a lot of the stuff that Arrow Video does anyways. So this was a no-brainer for me, guys. So I picked one up from them. I also got a package in the mail from Shout Factory. Yeah, and, honestly, I'm not going to lie, man. Shout Factory, their shipping is really slow sometimes. God love Shout Factory. I love that company to death, man. But it takes a little bit of time to get stuff, dude. And I ordered this a while back, man. It's a Shout Select Collector's Edition. And it's a release of this sort of interesting, seedy lawyer drama that people kind of love. It's one of those sort of classic, sort of quirky dramas that people have always talked about. It's got a great cast in it. I watched this movie, God, years and years and years ago, and I've never watched it for such a long time. And when Shout Select announced it, not that I love everything that Shout Select does, but I was like, wow, okay, that one is really cool and something I definitely want to revisit. And it's never really got a great edition before. So the fact that it got this edition, I was like, okay, cool. It's finally getting the love it deserves. I'm gonna pick it up. So I got that and a package from Diabolic DVD. So I got a couple of good titles right here, guys. But you are not gonna see exactly what I picked up until my Blu-ray pickup video, which will drop next month. It'll show off all of the titles that I picked up for July, and it's gonna be a good one, man. Look, I mean, I get a lot of weird and quirky shit, dude. I'm not gonna lie, man. But, I get the collector's editions, I get the limited editions, I get the cool slips, retro titles, 80s, 90s, high budget, lo fi stuff. It's a good variety, man. And I know pretty much what I'm gonna be getting this month outside of a couple of surprises. So I'm really excited to show you guys what I have in store for you. July is gonna be great, man. It's gonna be freaking awesome. And stay tuned because hopefully this weekend I will be putting out the Blu-ray pickup video for June. June has amazing titles in it as well. A lot of really weird and funky variety, man. It kind of is almost up there with May. May was such a good month, and I think June kind of almost matches it, I think. Really cool, man. Now, if I don't get it out this weekend, I'm going to try my hardest, guys, but if I don't, I'm going to be getting out the following weekend. The reason being is actually, believe it or not, Wednesday is actually my birthday, man. So it is. I'm going to be turning 38 years old. 30 freaking 8 years old. Holy moly, man. God, I'm getting old. so, so I'm gonna take a few days for myself, man. I'm gonna, spend time with my mother, spend time with my girlfriend, some friends. Over the next few days, I'm gonna have like a whole like birthday stuff going on. So, it's about time that I took a little time for myself a little bit, and I'm just gonna focus on that. I'm gonna try my hardest though to still get out a video for you guys if I can do it, but hey, if you don't get one, just understand why. I'm going to be celebrating my birthday. I'm almost a 40, guys. So, I got to enjoy my 30s while I still can. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, don't fault me if there's not a video this week, but I'm going to try my utmost to get you that Blu-ray pickup video because it is so cool. And the pickups that I got were so awesome for June that I can't wait to show you guys that video. It is going to be fantastic. And before I let you guys go, one more thing to talk about. Now, I want to thank some of you guys who went out of your way to message me, whether it was on Instagram or Facebook Messenger, about the Friday the 13th mega huge Scream Factory set that is coming out in October. I know you guys are really excited about that. I am equally excited as you guys are about that set. I am a big Friday the 13th fan, pretty much of all of the movies. So for me, that is a must own. And it's interesting because, I've been on Blu-ray.com and I've seen a lot of the comments about the set. And majority of them are just really excited about that. But there's a decent amount actually, that talk about, well, they're pissed. They're pissed because Friday the 13th, 1 through 4 are getting 4K transfers, and the other ones aren't. And they're pissed because they're like, well, why aren't the other ones getting 4K transfers? And everything should get a 4K transfer. And I'm not buying it if it's not 4K. And it just blows my fucking mind, guys. It blows my mind. It really does. Because I was talking to you guys earlier about statistics and about the Blu-ray marketplace and the sales and how they're down and how really in a lot of ways, with all these editions that are coming out, in a lot of ways, we're flooding the marketplace. And it's kind of proven that sometimes that's not always a good thing. Now, I don't think that about this Friday the 13th set, but what I think about it is like most of the movie community, the people who watch movies on disc, most of them have not ever actually moved on to 4K yet. Most of them have not. So you're asking most of the community to embrace 4K when most of them don't. And the reason why I say that is because I know some of you probably don't think that I actually watch other people's YouTube videos over the course of a week. But I actually do. Even though I don't comment on a lot of these videos, I watch a ton of them, man. Every single week, dude. A shitload of videos every day, man. From many, many YouTubers. Some people who are subscribed to this channel, who have YouTube channels. I do watch your videos, just so you know. And I see these pickup videos, man, and all I'm seeing are they're buying DVDs or they're buying Blu-rays. I'm not seeing 4K, man. I'm not seeing 4Ks in these pickups, dude. Rarely do I ever see it. Why? I just don't think the marketplace has really gotten behind 4K. I mean, we're barely getting into Blu-ray a lot of ways, because I was talking to one of the guys at Best Buy today, and we were talking about some movies, and he actually watches some of the channel, and he talked to me about that Goodwill that I went to, and he went to that Goodwill and picked up some of the titles that I showed off. And I said to him, I said, if you really think about it, some of those titles that I showed off, they haven't even made the jump to Blu-ray yet, let alone trying to get a 4K. So, we're so worked up about 4K, but at the same time, most Americans are either just starting to embrace Blu-ray or, or are still dealing with DVDs. I mean, we're kind of rushing this a little bit too much. And I look at the Friday the 13th franchise and I'm like, let's be real here. Do you really need a 4K transfer of A New Beginning or Jason Takes Manhattan or The New Blood? Like, I really don't see the reason of getting a 4K transfer for that. I really don't. I think Shout's Factory is going to improve the picture quality on those releases. I do believe that. But also, they're getting their own discs, which is going to improve the picture quality. Because if you guys remember, in some of the previous sets of Friday the 13th, whether it was the tin set or from Crystal Lake to Manhattan, and some other of the sets, a lot of them combined two movies onto one disc. And when you do that, you lose picture quality and audio quality, and you lose all that stuff. Once you put it on a singular disc, it opens up a little bit more space for the movie to breathe. It's going to look a little bit better, and I think it's going to improve overall. I mean, would it be a treat if they did do all of the movies in a 4K transfer? Yes, but I'm not looking for that, dude. I'm not thinking to myself like, oh my god, when he gets on that boat and kills that chick in Manhattan, I need to see that in 4K quality. When he lops that fucking boxer's head off in Manhattan, man, I want to see the foam latex of that fake head rolling, man. I want to see the 4K glory in that. I'm like, no, I don't need that. Come on, man. Like, I think as physical media lovers and aficionados, I think we've almost become a little bit too privileged. Like, some of these major studios come out with these 4K titles, and we've been so blessed by some of this stuff that we look at some of these other boutique labels and some of these other things and say, well, why isn't that in 4K? Well, I need that in 4K too. Why that too? Why are we getting that in 4K? That's unfair. I want that in 4K. And I'm like, number one, 4K costs a hell of a lot more money to produce and to make. We're also in a pandemic as well. And producing discs right now is not an easy task to do. And so, with everything that's going on in the world, cut these people some slack, dude. Cut them some goddamn slack, man. Really. Look, for me, I'll get the Marvels in 4K. You know, some of the Disney stuff is going to look obviously awesome in 4K, but we need to learn to. I don't want to say lower our expectations because I don't want to really think of it like that, but I think like we need to understand that we have it good already. We honestly do. I mean, we need to understand that just because there's a brand new format out there doesn't mean that every single movie needs to go on 4K. We don't need to flood the market with 4Ks constantly. Because at a certain point, I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to transfer all these movies to 4K. I'm just not going to do it, dude. I don't need some of these movies in 4K, dude. Like why? Like, I mean, I'll just give you an example. Honestly, I see something like I don't know, like Teen Wolf 2. If Teen Wolf 2 came out in a 4K, I would laugh my ass off because I would be like, "Are you kidding me?" I do not need a 4K edition of Teen Wolf 2. There is no way in holy hell to do. I need it. I mean, I love me some Jason Bateman, but 4K for Teen Wolf 2, or even like something like, how can I even show off like like Creepshow? Creepshow's great. I love Creepshow. The bright colors and the great sound quality and everything. Would this maybe look good in 4K? It's possible, yes. But why do I need it in 4K? What does it benefit me? Just a little bit better of a quality? I'm fine with Blu-ray. It looks fine. I have no problem with it. I think we really need to start evaluating the fact of where we are now with physical media and be thankful for where we are now because the sales are dropping, guys. Let's be real here. The sales are dropping. So at a certain point, there may come a day, who knows, 10, 20 years from now, where we may not even have physical media. So appreciate what you have now. And don't start demanding things because sometimes that's not good to just demand for the sake of demanding, guys. We need to appreciate what we have now. And sometimes I see people that are not appreciative and it really kills me, man. That's just my honest opinion. Let me know what you think about that, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, though. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Check out the other Blu-ray pickup videos, the other Blu-ray and DVD out and about videos I do, movie huntings, movie reviews, and much, much more. If you love movies and physical media, hit subscribe and become a part of the Film Fan Nation. I want to thank my wonderful subscribers. You guys are fantastic. Commenting, subscribing, watching the videos in your busy lives. Trust me, I know how difficult that is, and trust me, I appreciate you guys so much going out of your way to do that. So thank you so much, guys. And if you're not subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe button and be a part of the Film Fan Nation. And keep up to date with everything I'm doing through Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Film Fan 108. Keep up to date with everything I'm doing, plus special pictures and videos I do from time to time on social media as well. Alright, guys. I will see you back next week for a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video. Take care, everybody, and happy hunting.